saya Sofia Natali Putri dengan NIM 13 12 300 107. Sini saya akan menjelaskan tentang belligerent as the subject international law. Belligerent as a subject of international law refers to any party actively engaged in an armed conflict, whether a state or a non-state actor, that meets specific criteria to be recognized as a lawful participant in warfare. Under international humanitarian law, belligerent status confers both rights and obligations. These include the right to conduct military operations in accordance with the laws of war and the obligation to adhere to the Geneva Convention and other rules governing armed conflict. To qualify as a belligerent, an entity typically must have an organized command structure, exercise control over a certain territory, and demonstrate the capacity to follow and enforce the laws of war. Recognition of this statute is significant because it legitimizes the action of combatants under the law of armed conflict and determines the lawful treatment of prisoners of war and civilians during hostilities.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Raka Farel Sanjaya. My NIM 13123000010. I will explain about surgeon as a subject of international law. Surgeon is an armed rebel group against the legitimate government of a country, usually in the context of a non-international armed conflict. Surgeon can be considered as a limited subject of international law, not a full state, where they can have certain rights and obligations under international law, especially in the context of international humanitarian law, because surgeons can be subject to obligation, namely, they must respect the rules of armed conflict, including protecting civilians. They can be held accountable for violation of humanitarian law, war crimes. However, because their status is not recognized as a state, they don't have full rights like a state international diplomacy and cannot be a part to international agreements, except in special case, agreement of ceasefire.
Hello, my name is Nasla Zorani and my study number is 13123000072. Here is an explanation in English regarding the origin and legal basis asal-muasal dasar hukum of the concepts belligerent and insurgent in international law. 1. Origin and legal basis of belligerent status. The term belligerent originates from the Latin word bellum, meaning a war in international law. Belligerency refers to a recognized status of parties involved in an armed conflict, particularly in the context of international armed conflict or civil wars, where one of the non-state parties gains recognition as a belligerent power. Legal basis. 1. Hague Convention of particular, the Hague Regulation concerning the laws and custom of war on land. 2. Geneva Convention and additional protocols define protection and responsibilities during armed conflict and set criteria for the recognition of parties to a conflict. 3. Customary international law. Through state practice and opinion juris, belligerent status has been recognized when non-state actors, e.g. rebel groups, meet certain conditions. Process organized command structure. 1. Control a significant territory. 2. Conduct sustained and concerted military operation. 3. exhibit willingness to abide by the laws of war. Implication of belligerent status. Recognized belligerents are bound by the laws of war used in below. They may engage in unlawful combat operations under international humanitarian law. And for the last, recognition may come with political consequences, including possible de facto legitimacy. 2. Original and legal basis of insurgent status. The term insurgent refers to group or individuals who rise in revolt against an established authority or government, especially in the early stage of a rebellion. Unlike belligerents, insurgents are not necessarily recognized under international law unless certain criteria are met. Legal basis. Common Article 3 of the Geneva Convention applies to non-international armed conflict, including conflict between a state and insurgent force. It provides minimum humanitarian protection but does not grant legal combat status to insurgents. Additional Protocol 2 further develops legal standards for non-international armed conflict involving insurgents. Take note, all states have ratified it. Customary international law recognition of insurgents does not grant them belligerent rights unless their status is elevated by recognition or control of territory and conduct of hostilities. Characteristics of insurgents. 1. The lack formal recognition under international law. 2. Usually considered unlawful combatants under domestic law. And for the last, may evolve into belligerents if they meet certain criteria and receive recognition. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nama saya Desa David dengan NIM 13123000089. Di sini saya akan menjelaskan apakah APM dan Ormas Group termasuk dalam belligerent dan surgeon atau tidak. Di sini saya akan menjelaskan menggunakan bahasa Inggris ya. A belligerent is a party to a non-international armed conflict recognized under international law of war with limited combatant status. This status has a legal consequences, including the application of humanitarian law. In the study of international law, the Free Papua Organization, or we call as usual OPM, as well as other community groups or mass organization, the state cannot automatically be categorized as belligerents or included in the urgent category in the formal legal terms. First of all, I'm gonna explain what is OPM. Does OPM a belligerent? Conceptually, belligerent status is attached to a party in armed conflict, including rebel groups, provided they meet a number of conditions. First, having a regular organization, structure and leadership, controlling territory de facto, having clear armed force, conducting military operations in accordance with the international law and customs of war, achieving international recognition or having significant global influence. However, the OPM has not yet fulfilled all of these criteria. Despite having an organizational structure and claiming to be an independent struggle, it is considered to be sporadic and has not demonstrated real control of territory. Therefore, the OPM is not recognized as a belligerent under international law, but is classified as an insurgent or rebel group. In the Indonesian national law, the OPM has also been officially categorized as terrorist group. So I'm gonna explain the next is characteristic of belligerence and comparison between the OPM and other mass organization groups. Organized under clear leadership, belligerents have mass a stable and defined command structure. OPM has an organizational structure, but it is still sporadic and fragmented. Mass organizations generally do not have a military command structure. have a symbol or uniform. Usually, identity markers such as uniform and symbols are needed to identify combatant groups. OPM has not consistently used standardized symbols or uniforms. Mask organizations do not have primarily military attributes and control territory effectively. A belligerent usually controls a certain territory and exercises authority there. OPM does not fully control the territory de facto. Series does not fulfill this element. Mass organization does not have or exercise military control of the territory. So the point of my explanation is Papua or Ormas group is not included or not. Yeah, I can say. So we say belligerent or surgeon because it doesn't have their own control of territory only in Papua, not international problem, only in Indonesia, and as I said earlier, doesn't have any symbol or marker for their own territorial. Thank you.
Next, I will explain how to resolve the problem of the GRIP and OPM case. Resolving case involving GRIP and OPM require a combination of legal, political, and diplomatic strategies. Under international law, especially as outlined in the Geneva Convention and the UN Charter, there are several recognized approaches. First, peaceful negotiation. Dialogue between the state and group influence is often the preferred method. Peace agreement, ceasefire, or political compromise can be reached through mediation by third party, like the United Nations, regional organization, or ASEAN and African Union, or neutral states. Second, legal recognition and compliance. Compliance. If a group meets the criteria of the belligerent under international humanitarian law, or such as having clear command structure, territorial control, and capacity to follow the law of war, it may be limited recognition. In this case, both parties must comply with the law of armed conflict. 3. Referendum or autonomy agreement. For OPM, demanding independence or greater self-governance, referendum supervised by international body may be held to determine the will of the people. Alternative, a form of autonomy or special administrative status can be granted without full sanction. 4. Transitional justice mechanism. In post-conflict situation, truth commission, amnesty law, or hybrid court may be used to address human rights abuse while promoting reconciliation and reintegration. 5. International investigation or monitoring. In cases where violations persists or human rights are severely violated, international intervention such as peacekeeping mission or session may be necessary to stabilize region and push for a long-term solution. Each case high context specially and resolution strategies often involve a mixed legal framework, political will, and pressure from the international community.